John Myatt and I'm an artist. I pulled off one of the biggest art frauds of the 20th century by forging famous paintings and fooling the experts. I got caught and sent to prison, but now I've done my time and gone straight. I believe I can bring out the artist in anyone, even if they don't believe it themselves. In this series, my students are all celebrities, and I'm taking them to landscapes that inspired great artists. I'm hoping these magnificent views will have the same effect on my novice painters. I've got just one day to transform them from virgins to virtuosos. It's going to be a tough challenge. Today, my famous face is TV presenter Fern Britton, and our great master painting is John Piper's Palladian Bridge at Stowe. If you want to paint a great British landscape, then what better than a place where trees, water and fine architecture all come together? And that's exactly why these beautiful gardens here at Stowe in Buckinghamshire were one of John Piper's favourite places to paint. He loved classic architecture in beautiful surroundings. And this is the exact view he painted almost 30 years ago. I'll be painting in the style of John Piper, but I want Fern to develop her own way of painting. We've only got the one day, so I hope she ends up with something that she's happy with. I'll be giving my painting to Fern, but she won't be seeing it until the very end, so I do hope she likes it. I'm John.
Hi, John. Fern, lovely to meet you. I've been
Thank
waiting
you very
for
much
this.
for coming.
It's great.
Now then, John
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
what do you think of this?
What I like about this particularly is the geometry, and what I'd like to learn today is how to get the lines, you know, very crisp and clear.
This is all about proportion.
Yes.
So what we'll do is when we get started, we'll just actually measure the proportions, and that should help you to get the painting right. It sounds easy, but it isn't. Okay, so let's have a crack at it.
Yeah.
Born in Epsom, Surrey, in 1903, Piper was one of the most versatile artists of the 20th century. Aside from painting, his talents included stage design, ceramics, stained glass windows, printmaking, and textiles. He started his career as an abstract painter, which taught him the value of clear colours, one against the other. He then moved towards painting landscapes and architecture. King George VI commissioned him to paint Windsor Castle and commented that he'd been rather unfortunate with the weather. Dark and stormy skies were to become a trademark of Piper's paintings, as were large washes of colour sprinkled with architectural detail.
All right, so I've got to decide where this is spatially going to go on my canvas.
You have.
So I don't have to have the shape or anything, just
No.
the outline.
Outside edge.
All right, I'm feeling here.
Yep.
And I'm feeling here. If that's where the colonnades are for the bridge, and then they go off down there, don't they? I
Yes.
might get a bit down there.
Yes, you will. You'll get one. It'll take you out of the painting
Yeah.
too.
How about that?
Okay, that's very good. Now, can I help you with the drawing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That bottom of the rusticated arch down here is more or less at our eye level, but lines above that, they're going to slope down slightly
that's-
from the top there, and you're going to get a kind of movement down like that. The cornice, the pediment, the top. Ah, no, I'm wrong, aren't I? If I do this portico on the left,
See, already that's brilliant, John.
choo, 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 choo. And you've got to find where the next portico is there.
So if that's my eye line across here, and this is the vanishing point, so everything's got to go along that line.
Yeah.
So everything goes along.
What's happening is a line is coming down here,
Yeah.
and a straight line is coming down here, and miles away,
Yeah,
there's going to be a
it'll
point where
meet.
they stop.
OK.
Good luck.
Thanks, John.
When Piper first visited Stowe, the trees were overgrown, and he described the place as being in a state of pleasing decay. Today, the magnificent landscape gardens house the prestigious Stowe School. Famous pupils have included David Niven, Richard Branson and George Melly. To save time, I'm going to change over from this blank canvas to a canvas that I primed and put the early stages of the drawing in a little bit earlier on, which actually is quite a bit like
Fern's composition.
Fern Britton is best known as the presenter of ITV's This Morning programme, alongside Philip Schofield, a job she left after 10 years.
We've all had our children together, we've all got married together, divorced together, some of us. And we had a wonderful time. And as for you, you have given me the best, certainly 6 years we've had, haven't we, together? We've had a ball, and good luck.
I don't miss This Morning at all, funnily enough. People thought that I might, but I don't. It was a lovely, lovely job, and I adored every second of it. But when the time comes to be the end, I'm very good at knowing when to go home, when to leave the party.
Did you have a sort of strategy to interview people in terms of get the best out of them? Or is there a kind of knack to it?
Golly, a bit of everything, I suppose, but generally, like you with your painting, putting the foundations down, there are foundations in interviewing, and it's all very simple. It is who, what, where, when, why.
Yeah.
Those questions, once you've asked somebody that, no matter what the subject, you're getting there.
As Piper worked with ceramics, collages and tapestry, texture was important to him. He was always experimenting with his paintings to create an interesting effect. You can see here that he scratched and scraped at the surface to achieve this.
I'm just using something to scratch into the surface of the painting to create a texture, a textured surface. I brought a little bit of sandpaper with me and just working away, hoping something nice occurs. Using the green, that livid green we had when we started, it's just coming back again.
See, I've sploshed a lot of blue on the sky here, John, and I've enjoyed doing that. And now I'm feeling a bit bold, and I'm going to stick a bit of green in the middle.
Your drawing will always be there, so you can just,
can I just
slosh it on.
Because I can see the trees through the middle there, so I'm doing that. Whoa, look at the drip. That's quite nice, isn't it?
Very nice.
You see, now, at school, you'd be told, now you're just spoiling it. But actually, I'm quite enjoying the sploshing.
If I make a few statements on this
that's a lovely
painting
colour.
which is just so outrageous.
Oh, look at that. Got a lake straight away.
Well, that kind of thing. And we'll find that arch somehow.
Yeah. Oh, that's better. It's already. Look at that.
Now you've got all this nice stuff here. So this foreground thing coming down here is quite handy.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
See, because that just helps your perspective.
Yeah,
Okay,
good.
splosh on.
Oh, man, this is good. Look at that. God, that's going to be a couple of million in a minute. Easily. What do you think? Then after I'm
I
dead,
think that's a very
that'll be worth
conservative
fortune.
estimate, you know. Are you much of a painter yourself?
I want to be, funnily enough. Again, only for my own pleasure. It's like playing the piano. You know, I love to play the piano, but in private. I don't want anyone to listen. And the thing about playing the piano or painting is that time is suddenly in a different extension, isn't it? It just disappears.
Yeah.
Piper's skills extended to stage designs and costumes for theatre and ballet. He worked on designs for 6 of Benjamin Britten's operas, including The Rape of Lucretia. His artistic flair was combined with skilled draftsmanship and a deep understanding of the language of architecture. And it's the architecture I'm having to help Fern with.
Can I come across and give you a hand?
Yes,
Fern?
please.
Okay, let's just have a look at how we're doing. Well, very good. Well, what I'm thinking is we need some kind of directional movement here, and then what I'm trying to say is we get a brush and we actually just do this kind of thing all over here, but perhaps just keeping a little bit of foreground slightly different just here. We'll darken that down. But for now, let's just get that in.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah. When you did your time in prison, were you painting there? Did you teach the prisoners?
Well, I didn't actually get a long enough sentence to actually qualify for painting materials. I did get...
You have to qualify?
Well...
to be a good boy and all that?
Everything's a kind of a bother for them, really. So I was OK with pencils and sketchbooks. Basically made a living, really, doing portraits of prisoners and prison officers.
Really? And what was the living that you made? I mean, did they pay you in cigarettes?
2 phone cards.
2 phone cards.
Money's no good. There's no point in money.
So the fakes that you did, have you still got some of them?
No, I wish I had. They're all in some black museum somewhere.
Oh, the police's black museum.
Which actually sounds brilliant, but is a warehouse in Willesden, you know, damp and horrible. All the paintings. I wish they'd sell them for charity.
Piper travelled widely and illustrated a series of shell travel guides to Britain, which were written by his friend John Betjeman. He loved old, ruined buildings, and during the Second World War, as an appointed war artist, he painted Coventry Cathedral just a day after it was blitzed. He lost his elder brother in the Great War, which may have made this commission particularly poignant and emotional.
When we look through these arches, we see not blue sky, but we see greenery. So we'll just start working here. The columns we'll come back and work on later.
Yes.
We're green here, green here, green here, and green here. So we're going to whack it all up here like this. You see, we can make quite a sharp line down here.
Really bold lines.
We've just for luck, we've got a nice little bit of something coming up here.
We've been painting for a couple of hours now, so in a minute I'm going to ask Fern about her infamous gastric band story and uncontrollable fits of giggles on live TV. I'm painting the Palladian Bridge at Stowe with presenter Fern Britton. While I'm working in the style of John Piper, Fern is developing her own style, with a little help from me.
What we're using here for the first time is body colour, by which I mean it actually obliterates and doesn't rely on the transparency of the paint.
So you're just blocking it.
So we're just whacking away. You know, we can plonk that in there and a bit of that in there.
I've been neglecting my painting, so I'd better get a move on and leave Fern to get on with hers.
I'm going to use some of these autumn colours. You may as well pick out of this what's there to be enjoyed. So get some nice yellow and whack it in. Where shall we have a go? I'll try something here.
I'm just not understanding this, John.
OK, well, look, I'll come in again.
It's starting to look like Anne Hathaway's cottage, all bent.
Let's make sure this line is not straight. So let's just get this there. Let's see the transition between that edge and this sort of triangular moment here at the top of the painting. Let's just see that, because an edge defines where the portico stops and the trees begin. So they are crucial. We could almost paint this whole thing by just looking at edges. And if we very carefully found this edge down here, we'd find that this thing would damn near draw itself, just by using the negative shapes inside. By negative shapes, I mean the shapes we can see through, right? So the gaps between the columns would actually, if we drew them, would define the columns themselves.
Yes.
You and your colleague, Philip Fern, quite often had moments of uncontrollable giggles on live television, where you both actually completely
Lost it,
if you like.
50 grams of stem ginger, which I detest.
I know.
But a lot of people actually quite
We're
like
not
it.
allowed ginger in our house. We're not allowed ginger nuts.
It's not good. No, we're not. That's absolutely right, Fern. You never get a ginger nut in our house. Then, this, again using...
I don't think you're allowed to do that these days, right?
This mixture is again using the fondant ice and sugar.
Discrimination to that degree.
Cookery items were always a rich vein of rudities.
Oh,
Because,
really?
I mean, apart, you know, the obvious ones like, here's my pastry flan case and I've just given it a little prick in the bottom, all of those things, which is pathetic. But then, of course, Phil, my husband, was cooking muffins one day and there was all that, do you like muffin? And, you know, where do you like your muffins? By the fire on the rug, you know, all of that. So that was unspeakable. And that was Philip. He would you just adore.
So really, it's any old double entendre, really.
Any old bottom lavatory sex joke.
Yeah.
Just put it on top of your muffin, and then just pop on 3 blueberries like that. Like a couple of school children, yeah. OK.
Oh, it's pathetic.
Childish, of course, but most amusing at the time. Hello, I think something's actually starting to come together here.
Let's have a look.
I don't know, see what you think. I think there's a definite improvement in the middle.
Yeah. Come back and right back and let's have a look.
So sort of 20 miles away and then...
Oh, you see. No, there we go.
It is on the slope though, isn't it?
So we need to just lower it a bit so we get that sense of perspective. I want to make sure these don't fall over. We can always re-establish these guys
Oh, I see.
anytime we feel like it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
We can start finding edges like this, you see. We can make a nice edge here. And this one, actually, that's lower because the top of this one is much higher than the top of this one. So I'm going to guess that that's somewhere like that, but you can hardly see it. So again, you see how an edge just helps to define something.
Fern hit the headlines when she revealed she'd had a gastric band fitted to help her lose weight. She's now lost around 5 stone. I hope it's something she won't mind talking about, but I want to know what it was like being hounded by the paparazzi over something so personal.
Virtually every day for about 18 months there was somebody outside the house or following me to school or following me around London. It wasn't very nice. It's not nice when you've got your phone calls, for instance, being listened into and emails intercepted. So there was definitely something going on.
That's creepy, isn't it?
It is creepy, but it's been very uncomfortable for the children at school. I can take it for myself, but not for them.
And this is, as I understand it, all because you decided to seize the bull by the horns. You were going to lose weight, whatever it took.
Well, I think, you know, any woman who has tried to lose weight, you know, this whole body image thing is too destructive for words. And I was constantly being described, not for my work or anything else, but for my size. And from 40 to 49, I was, you know, fat, jolly broadcaster. And I thought, when I'm 50, I want to change, because if I don't change now, I never will. And I don't want to be an old lady with crookedy knees. And the health issue got so big that my doctor said, do you know, I think I'm going to put you forward for a band. You have to fit enormous health criteria to have it done. And I had it done, and I didn't know it would work as well as it did. And so I was quite happy I had 2 years to do it on my own. And then after that, it was all, she's a cheat, she's a fraud, she's a this, she's a that. But I can assure you, if anybody ever thought that I did sell a diet or I did sell an exercise video or I did make money from it, I did not.
Piper emerged from the war with a high reputation. He also designed stained glass windows, and along with Patrick Riantines was commissioned to create the Great Baptistry window in the new Coventry Cathedral. Standing 81 feet high and composed of almost 200 panels of stained glass, it's one of the most impressive in Britain. Because he'd been an abstract artist, Piper wasn't afraid to play around with bold colours.
If he felt, because I've got some red there, I need a balance of something over here, he'd just put it in. And it certainly added to the romantic effect. He was actually called a new romantic in the 1930s. He was part of a new almost patriotic movement of British artists. So this is what you might call arbitrary colour. It's not there, but what the hell? This is a painting. It's not a photograph. So I'm going to use it because I feel like it.
John, would you come and have a look at this in a minute when you get a chance?
I will. Actually, now's a good time for me.
Is it?
Oh yeah, progress is being made.
Is it?
I think we have a slight problem with the drawing, and that is here. Let's just see. I think we need this to go much more down there.
Ah, yeah.
This roof line along here should be parallel all the way along.
Yes.
So and take it down there like that and find it again along there. There's not too much need for too much detail in this bit. You could just pick a bit out here and there if you wanted to. But
I'm quite pleased with that now, actually.
I think that's better, isn't it? So darken this, really just darken this down now. Almost black here, this area, up to that.
And that's how Piper would do it.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
is. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Your brush.
Thank
Other
you.
than that, I mean, I think you're on the road, frankly.
Do you?
Yeah.
On the road to ruin?
No, on the road to success. Exactly, you're doing exactly the right thing. That's brilliant. Well done.
We're painting in acrylics today, but Piper worked in a variety of mediums, from oils and watercolours to crayons, gouache and coloured inks.
One of the things that Piper would have done quite naturally was actually to have used a pencil on the canvas to scratch or make marks like this, which I think he would have been very happy with, but also just occasionally to tighten up a line. And here I'm just determined to get a straight line by hook or by crook along here. And again, the size of these columns are really annoying me because I'm just wobbling around a bit. So let's just use a pencil, and if the glossy kind of graphite shows up on the canvas, well, so what, who cares?
John Piper was married for 60 years to his second wife, Mifanwe, an art critic and opera librettist. Dementia left him disabled for his last few years until he died aged 89. 200 people attended his memorial party, with guests including Jeremy Paxman, John Mortimer and the Snowdons. Piper has been described as the most versatile artist of his generation. Well, I think I've probably done all I can to my painting, and I think Fern should finish off too, as the light is beginning to fade.
Fern, let's have a look what you've got.
Well,
That is lovely. Oh, that is great.
do you say that to everybody?
No, I don't. It's powerful. It's...
Well, you've put that in because I wouldn't have gone as dark as that, but actually it's very strong, isn't it?
It's strong.
I'm quite pleased with my reflections. I've
I
never
think
done
they're
that
very
before.
nice, aren't they?
Do you like that?
Very nice. I would correct a few things if
Yeah.
we had more time. I'm not too happy with the fact that this is kind of, you know, looking like Pompeii maybe a few...
It's a very old building.
It's exactly. I'm not in the business
No,
of...
it is on a tilt.
It's
yes.
wonky.
Yeah, it is.
In the old days, they would have actually had a plumb line, you know.
Oh, of
Old guys, they would
course.
have had something across here, and then a piece of string come down like that, and then that would give you all your verticals.
Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
I'm going to varnish the paintings. We're going to put them in lovely carved frames, and then you're going to see both of the paintings. We're going to veil them over, we're going to unveil them, and you'll see them in all their splendour.
John has been such an inspiration and so gentle and kind. And I'm actually quite amazed at what I've managed to produce. It's not perfect, but it's certainly streaks ahead of what I've been able to do before. What I've learnt today is the whole shading business and the negative image and the positive image, so that, you know, think about the shape that the air is making, not just the solid, which I thought was really good. I really do want to paint more, and now that I've found myself a bit more time, I think I will paint a bit more.
Piper was a prolific painter, and his works are now collector's items. Prices have increased sharply in recent years, some fetching many thousands. His Palladian Bridge certainly captures this classic scene, but how do our paintings stand up to scrutiny?
Fern, you're painting in a gilt frame. The moment of truth. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I like the colours.
I love it. I think this is just bold and contemporary and primitive even. You know.
Primitive. That's a good word for it. Primitive.
In the good.
Naive.
No, naive. I don't buy
Is that
naive.
something else?
No.
Okay.
I think you could be very proud of it, and also it's as it were a memory of a day we've had. You know.
And a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Really lovely day. Just to stand and talk and enjoy it has been such a treat.
Now I'm going to show you my painting.
Yes,
Rather
okay.
this now becomes your painting, because this is the one I hope you want to take home with
Yes.
you, and hang the two side by side.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll build the east wing. Oh, John. Look at that. It's absolutely brilliant.
But I think it's got a calm kind of classic,
Definitely.
quite a reassuring painting.
I think Piper would like
Calm.
that
Yeah,
very
I think
much
he would. He'd be
indeed.
quite happy, I hope. It's an homage to John Piper.
Well, bless his heart. When he stood here, what, 20, 30 years ago?
30 years.
I expect he didn't think other people would follow in his footsteps, but how many of us have? John, what a pleasure. I'm so thrilled to have one of your paintings.
Well, I'm
at
so
home.
thrilled to have met
Thank
you, actually. God bless.
What a lovely day. What a lovely day.
Thank you.
I think a couple of old codgers could do with a hot toddy, don't you?
A very hot one.
Yes, come on.
We deserve it. Well, I think we've learned quite a few things today, but most importantly, if you're drawing buildings, remember that the shapes between the features in the building are just as important as the shapes of the building itself. The one makes the other.